There are, however, some problems. When they were doing it, one of the guys stumbled and fell backwards and banged his head against the mirror. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a rather windy day in the UK. I've just brought the 911 out. I'm taking it to Tech 9 today to get some equipment fitted. We'll talk about that when I get in the car. But yeah, back in the UK, the first day for a while, really tired. So if I look tired, it's because I am. But yeah, I'm excited to be out in the 911 and to get it to Tech 9. So let's get on the road.
Not the easiest car to get into, and you have to I get used to it and then I put it away and I don't use it for months, and then when I get back in it I have to get used to it again. So, and the clutch, this light and flywheel and heavy duty clutch is tricky. It sounds so good. The engine, not the clutch. I just got home into the UK, pretty exhausted, and I'm only home for a short time, but just time enough to take this car in to get these jobs done. So today I'm having a roll cage fitted, or a rear roll cage, and a fire extinguisher. And the roll cage, I actually ordered it in June. But it took 3 months for them to make it. And here we are. So I'm a little bit disappointed. They normally have a line of classic 911s outside for me to show you, but there's only one other car here outside. So yeah, a little bit disappointed there, but I'm going to go inside and have a look at the roll cage because I haven't seen it yet. When it arrived, I wanted to get it painted because it comes unpainted. So I wanted to get that done. And it was still in a box, so I didn't want to get them to open it just so I could film it. So I'm going to go and see it for the first time, and then yeah, we'll get on from there. I'll show you the fire extinguisher as well. It's got the... That comes off though. You know? Yeah. But you see, it's not exactly the same as the one. No. So I
think this is very similar.
Yeah. No. The other one's got a silver
strap.
Right. Yeah. But it's got Porsche number on it.
Yeah, it's 993.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't able to see the cage because it's in storage. So unfortunately I wanted to show you the cage before it goes in the car, but yeah, I've been unable to do that. So we'll just have to wait for the car to be ready. He said it's going to be ready next week, so that's okay with me because it's not urgent. We'll come back in a week and we'll update. So but obviously with the magic of YouTube, next week will be in the next clip. So all right, so the magic of filming, I'm back. It's about 10 days later. I've come to collect the car. The car's outside here. There are, however, some problems. Now you can see I've put the rear cage in the car, which is, it looks OEM. So I've been put off getting one because you can't get them from Porsche anymore. And I've been put off putting one in because they don't look OEM, right? But this one, to me, looks OEM, so I thought great. Also, I had this fitted. This black thing's going to come off. That is, I know that looks at like preposterous position, but that is an OEM position for a fire extinguisher.
So I had that fitted in there as well. They are super expensive now because Porsche you can't get those either from Porsche anymore. So that's what I had done there. Now, here's the start with the problems. First of all, there's a bar missing there. That bar, there should be a bar across there. It is where the passenger harness fits onto, and it's missing. They didn't notice until they started to install it, and they realized then.
When Tech 9 told me the cage had arrived, because it came from Germany, it took 3 months to make, and it came from Germany, and then they called me and said, oh, the cage has arrived, so we can arrange a time for you to bring the car down. Now the cage has to be painted as well, right? So I thought, great. So I was passing by one day and I popped in and said, can I see the cage? And he said, well, it's in a box. And I thought, well, I don't really want to go through that hassle of them having to unbox it just so I can film and stuff like that. So I said, okay, never mind. So then when I came down last week to bring the car to drop it off for them to fit the cage, I said, can I see the cage? Oh, it's in storage right now. We can't get it out. So I said, well, okay, never mind. So I'll just see it when it's done. So I left. Now, if either of those times they'd let me see it, I definitely would have noticed that it was missing, because I'm one of those people that looks at these kinds of things because I'm attention to detail and stuff. So I would have noticed for sure. So now that the fact that it's missing means that they have to get the company in Germany who made it, FVD they're called. Now they've got to source that part. It took 3 months to build this cage. I assume they made the piece, but it didn't arrive for whatever reason. So now they have to get that piece. If they can't find it, they have to fabricate a new one. That's going to take, they told me, a few weeks. It's quite vague. And then it has to come here, be shipped over to here from Germany, and then it has to go to the painters to be painted and then fitted. So that is a big faff based on just them not noticing that piece was missing. So that's a bit annoying. But it gets worse. When they were fitting the cage, because obviously it's tricky to fit, and it's a two-person job, they have to take the seats out. I'll show you on the car. So as you can imagine, there's not a lot of room here to get that cage in. So what they have to do is they have to remove the interior. I don't know whether they remove the center console, but they remove the seats at least. And that way they can get access. And then there'll be one person standing on each side, and then they lift it in. However, when they were doing it, one of the guys stumbled and fell backwards and banged his head against the mirror, the mirror that sits on the windscreen, the rear view mirror. He fell back, banged his head on it, and it's cracked the windscreen. So you can see here the impact has happened, and it's cracked. I don't know whether it comes across on the camera there, but it is it's pretty bad. It's all cracked in various different directions. I mean, it happens. So I was a bit annoyed, but ultimately, it happens, and I thought, well, that's okay. But it gets worse. They don't have a screen. They can't find a screen. And even Porsche said they don't have any, and there's a backorder waiting list for those screens, those windscreens. So Phil from Tech 9 said, the only thing I can do is you can have to either wait. He said, I'm phoning around Germany and stuff like that, trying to find a screen. He said, but otherwise you'll have to wait for the OEM screen to become available, or I can fit a non-OEM screen in the car, which I don't want. Ultimately, the car doesn't get used during the winter, so I probably won't use the car until April or May, depending on the weather. So I said, well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until then to see what happens. And if by then there's still no windscreen, then maybe I'll have to look at a non-OEM replacement, which I really don't want to do. Negatives aside, I think the cage looks great. I think it finishes the car off. Phil, he took a lot of photographs of how much stuff they had to take out of the car to fit the cage and fire extinguisher, and it's a lot more than you think, which, in hindsight, now that he's told me, because I mean a minute ago I was saying, oh, I don't know whether they took the center console out, but they took basically everything out.
In hindsight, everything I've done on this car has been a lot more work than I expected it. So what I'll do is I'll put some photographs on the screen of the work that was done so you can see how much work they had to do to actually get this stuff done. And the fire extinguisher was a lot more work than I expected. So, oh, it's a bit annoying about the screen, I must admit, actually. It's not exactly the day I was expecting, collection day. A little bit disappointing, you know, the windscreen, what can you do, right? It happens. He's been quite apologetic about it, and he said he's got it on order now with Porsche. Now, if you don't know, front windscreen for a car is about £1,200. So, I mean, that's what I would pay, not what he would pay. But it's still, it wasn't a cheap accident on his part. So, just one of those things. So, yeah, let me know what you think of the cage, apart from the fact that there's a piece missing. But let me know if you think it looks good. And the fire extinguisher, I would imagine most of you are going to say it looks ridiculous. It does kind of look ridiculous, but you know, that's the way these cars came. The GT2RS came with the fire extinguisher in that very spot. So, but anyway, let me know and in the comments.
All right, so it's about 4 days since I filmed that last bit in the video, and I said in the video after the windscreen got cracked that they couldn't get a screen and it was going to take months on back order. 4 days later, and we have a screen. I already put the car away for the winter and put the covers on and all the trickle chargers and everything. And then I got a call from Phil at Tech9 saying, we've got a screen. All right, so there you have it. A new windscreen in the car, all's good. So that didn't take long at all. I was expecting to have to wait until next year, you know, April, May time to have a new windscreen fitted. So yeah, that turned out pretty well actually. And now I've got a brand new windscreen. The old windscreen had a couple of stone chips in it as well. So now I've got a brand new windscreen. So it didn't turn out too badly. So yeah, so that's great. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe and like the video and all that stuff. And I'll catch up with you next time. All right, bye-bye.